first edition I'm very proud of, and was my baby. But I realized it had 9 chapters. It was supposed to have 10, and I felt like the illustrations needed to be a little bit more inspirational than the ones that were in the current edition. So after a few months, I was like, I really want to revamp this a little bit. I need another chapter in here, and a lot of times I get questions from women about workplace dressing, and I didn't address that specifically in the book. I addressed dressing, period. So I felt like the most logical chapter, and it was really a missing link, I think, is a whole chapter dedicated to what to wear to work. Because that's where we spend a lot of us spend half or more of our lives, and it's where a lot of women are challenged. I mean, they are challenged by social and casual wear too, but the work wear is, especially with business casual, so confusing. So I really want to tackle that. That's a whole 25 plus pages, and then with new illustrations for that chapter as well. The other thing I felt that I wanted to do differently was the introduction. I kind of shortchanged in the first edition. I felt it was just really short, and I just kind of got to the point. I want to share more of me and my own journey, and what I stand for, and my path, and so people understand where this all comes from, the history behind the voice and the messages and the work. It's me and what I'm made of. So it shares a more an introduction about my unique image journey, my kind of my path, not a lot of it, but enough. And then one aha moment I had in yoga, which is a story I tell a lot. You might have heard it, Cindy, I'm not sure, but I really want to share that story because every time I share it, I get goosebumps, and it's just a powerful story about owning your power. And one of the things in the book that is in the first book that was underlying current is all about the self-empowerment, the self-esteem, and the confidence, and you can do it too, and it's all about that. And I really wanted to set the stage in the introduction for this is what's to come, people. This is you reading a book about style and fashion, yes, but the heart of it is really about who are you. Again, who are you? What do you want? What are you trying to say to the world by the way you show up? So I really set the stage a lot more clear and a lot more directly in the introduction. And then there were just a number of other updating illustrations overall, and a number of other little typographical things that I had to fix. That's it in a nutshell, I think.
So what was the yoga experience?
The yoga experience, gosh, okay, so the short version, there is a pose in yoga that I used to resist a lot, and it's an easy pose. It's the standing up pose, Tadasana. Yeah, it's funny. It's mounting pose, and it literally means you stand straight and tall, your shoulders are relaxed, and you're all poised. I used to have the worst time with this pose because I used to be terrified of the pose, literally. I used to be in the class, and I used to hate every minute of it because I felt vulnerable, and I felt like I'm too exposed, and I just wasn't comfortable, and I just didn't get it. So I would struggle in this pose, and hated every minute of it. And then of course I'm 6'1", and I just felt like, oh, I'm towering over everybody else, and I'm so obvious in this pose. So it wasn't comfortable. So I was on vacation one year, and I decided to get this Tadasana thing down. So I'm on the beach, and I'm practicing walking into Dawson, and I'm walking on the beach and have my iPods in my ears, and I'm looking at the waves, and I'm doing the whole relaxed shoulders, everything elongated, and the tip of your head, tip of your head, the string is pulling you, and all that stuff. And at some point I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. This is not a pose just about standing straight and tall. It's a pose about power, and inner power, and inner strength. And because as I'm walking, literally as I'm walking, I'm feeling the power, I'm feeling the strength, and I'm feeling bigger. I'm actually feeling bigger. People are around me. I'm all alone on the beach, and I'm just feeling I'm actually in a whole other zone, and I'm bigger than that. I'm becoming one with the beach in a way. They say that in yogi, very yogic. And at some point, I actually thought to myself, not cockily or anything, just I thought, if I wanted to go and walk out on that water, I could. Wow. So I was in the most zen moment of my life, and that was the aha moment of what Tadasana really meant. From then on, I never struggled with the pose, and that's the short version. But I never struggled with the pose. I love the pose. I know how to do the pose. It's I know how to get my body in alignment. It's a great story about me, but about all of this stuff, and that's why I shared it. It's about owning your brilliance, owning your strength, owning your power, and it comes from inside. And you have to like be comfortable with that. And it doesn't matter if you're 6 feet tall like me or how tall. It's about the inner part. So yeah, I shared that story. Very personal, but
Yeah,
a much needed sharing.
definitely, definitely.
Thank you for asking. I don't know if I